$100 million. That's how much was spent on deep ocean exploration and research, which ultimately brought the it's an exhibit that's coming. It's called Shipwreck.
Yes, it'll be open in a few weeks at the Durham Museum. Hundreds of authentic artifacts from some fascinating shipwrecks, including America's most famous, the SS Republic.
Yep, Jessica Brummer joins us to preview the exhibit and the programs around this thing.
Hi, Jessica.
Good morning.
I love this because I will watch this programming on Discovery or whatever when it's on TV to see this stuff in person.
Yeah, and this is the real stuff. This is the stuff that's featured on those shows. So we are super excited.
Right, so what's it about? What's this exhibit about? I think of the Durham, I think of trains, but it's not just trains at the exhibit.
Yeah, well, this is going to explore the history of thousands of years of historic shipwrecks, basically. And Odyssey, the company that the exhibit is coming to us from, they're kind of the world leader in underwater exploration. So they're out every day looking for kind of that underwater history. You know, the ocean is such a vast place with undiscovered treasure, and we're learning about current history every day from the things that they're exploring.
When we say hundreds of artifacts,
Hundreds.
right, like 500, something like that, what are some of the pieces that you're bringing to Omaha?
Well, when you think of artifacts from shipwrecks, you know, immediately you think gold, silver, coins, treasure, and there's a lot of that in the exhibit. But there's also a lot of personal effects, you know, things that people would have carried with them.
Like perfume bottles from the Titanic, something like
right,
that. You hear about.
Combs, toothbrushes, children's toys, things that you know you would have had on board, things you would have packed in your suitcase. But also showing a lot of how these artifacts are recovered from the ocean floor. So there's even some artifacts that are preserved in sediment. So you know things that have been sitting there for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Fossilized.
Yeah. So the exhibit shows both artifacts, but also tells firsthand accounts of some of the people that were on board some of these ships. So you're going to be able to read about their experience in the storm or in the battle.
How do we get their stories? I mean, are some of them from survivors, or in the moment somehow they were able to get an account?
Both. Some are from survivors, and some are also from people who were writing letters corresponding to someone back home about the experience that they were facing in the storm that they were in and those types of things.
Now, where are some of these artifacts from? Different parts of the world, all over the world?
Yeah, all over the world, Atlantic Ocean, Mediterranean Sea. The focus of the exhibit is, as you mentioned, the SS Republic, which is a Civil War era ship. It sailed from New York to New Orleans during the end of the Civil War and came down in a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. So kind of all over the world, and obviously things that stories that would have never been told had this exploration not happened.
It is like another world. What's happening under the water? You know, I mean, we know what we see, but then to think about all of those stories, just you know, in essence, waiting to be discovered. And because Odyssey has the technology where they're sending these unbelievable crafts down to where they can find, you know, sonar technology. I don't know how they find some of these shipwrecks, or even trying to find where did the ship go down in some cases.
Well, and I think that's the cool part is like it's history, but it's using modern day technology and science to find these things that we would have never been able to before. So the exhibit is a really great blend of that. It's going to show you the artifacts and the history behind them, but also talk about the technology used to preserve them today and find them today.
And a teaser to what else may be in the ocean still to this day. I mean, they had a plane go down. They couldn't even find a plane in the ocean. So just to show
they estimate that there's about 3 million shipwrecks in the world.
3 million,
which is crazy. If you know, a lot of people just automatically think Titanic. But that's
tragic, though. I mean, think about this.
And you know, storms obviously play a big part of that, and there's a big part of the exhibit talking about kind of the science behind hurricanes and
like with
how
the
they
SS
bring
Republic.
them. But then there's also ships that have been brought down in battle, you know, World War II and those types of things.
So stuff for the kids too. When you talk about some of those extra things that are surrounding the exhibit.
Yeah, I think that's what makes me the most excited. It's so history rich, but it also has all of these hands-on pieces that are going to be really cool for the kids. You can actually operate the robotic arm that they use on the ocean floor and practice picking up coins yourself in the exhibit. There's a big section on the history of pirates and kind of learning to identify enemy vessels on the ocean. So there's going to be something for everyone, as they say.
At any age?
Any
Because, you know, the
age,
grown-ups are
yeah.
going to take something away that the kids.
Yeah, I think
Might-
so.
Well, yeah, but it's a good time to talk about the kids because you have the summer camp programs that are coming up. Is that, if the kids coming to the summer camp programs, is this exhibit part of that?
Yeah, we tie our summer exhibit into our summer camp program. So they start the same week that the exhibit opens. And depending upon what weeks you're attending summer camp, I think there's 4 of them that are related to the exhibit where the kids will actually get in there and learn something. And then their lesson plan that day is based around the exhibit.
Does your website have information about all the programming that's wrapped around the exhibit?
It has all of the programming wrapped around the exhibit, and it also has all of the summer camp descriptions for every single camp, and you can register online.
Some of
right
those are still
there.
open.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have some that are full, but there are many that are still open. So get in there today and reserve your spot.
May 28th is day 1 for
know.
SHIPWRECK.
Memorial Day weekend, it's just a few weeks away.
It's gonna
We're
be
so
nuts.
excited. We're so excited.
Oh,
Yeah.
good stuff out of you.
Yeah,
I love this whole idea. SHIPWRECK at the Durham Museum starting May 28th. Of course, you know where to find the Durham. But I always think about people who are like me at one point in time. I was just a young thing coming here moving for work 13 years ago, and I didn't, you don't really know what a city has to offer. But because our the corporate culture here, so many businesses are hiring, a lot of people come in and then they're like, okay, now what? What do we do? The Durham has got to be one of the first places where you go, get a membership, especially if you've got kids, be able to take them and enjoy some of the cool things that they bring in, like SHIPWRECK.
Yeah, that's right. And the membership,
sure.
You're open for memberships right now, right? You
Yeah,
get
open for membership. It's good for 12 months. It gets you discounts on summer camps and then free admission to the museum for an entire year. So.
Mike talks about the value
Well, if
for
you have,
families.
does.
if you have
And
a family, you go once or two, you go 2 times, it pays for
Yeah.
itself.
Thanks for itself.
Yeah.
Ms.
Thanks, you.
Brummer, thank
Thanks
you.
for stopping
Thanks
in.
for having me.
Nebraska
appreciate
Humane
it.